3, 2, 1, go. Yo, what up, you cats? My Escape 20 here, and today, guys, what I have here today is the Athena skill point guide for Borderlands, the pre-sequel. And this is a little bit overdue, but like I said, and like I mentioned before, I like to play out the game and really get a feel about it before I start making, in-depth guides and everything like that. I feel like if you're making guides about the game before the game even comes out, how do you really know what's good and what's not good? As somebody that has all the characters maxed out, I'll be able to, really give you my insight on, what I think is best. So, one thing I also will say is this is my opinion on the build, so there might be, obviously there's going to be different variations. And if you have a build that you think is a little better, or you think that I should have done something in a different order, just let me know, and I'd love to take that into consideration. Just go ahead and put that in the comments below. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump in. So, Athena has two main builds that I think. She has on this side, she has the elemental build, and then she has the melee build. And those are the two we're going to be looking at today. So, starting off with the elemental build, you're going to first get, and you're on the right side of the tree, and you're first going to get the Maelstrom. And what this is, dealing fire or shock damage gives you stacks. And basically, each stack gives you more and more, like, DPS power on that elemental. So, that is actually really important to get right off the bat. And it makes you go ahead and get Storm Weaving, which is not a bad skill to begin with. So, basically what that is after you swap weapons, you gain fire rate and elemental effect chance for a short time, which is 9 seconds, which is still a long time when you think about it. So, 9 seconds just for swapping your weapon. You could swap your weapon and then swap back real quick to the weapon you're using. And that's normally what I do. So, it just depends how you want to play it. So, the next thing we're going to get is Conduct, which we're going to get that 5 out of 5. And the reason you're going to get Conduct over this is while you have at least one Electrocute status effect active, you regenerate a percentage of your shields every second of each Maelstrom you have. And this is going to make a lot of sense. You're like, what, 0.10% per stack? But as you guys see coming up later on, you're going to be getting so many stacks, it's not even funny. I will show you in the featured video at the end. I had 999 stacks, which is the cap, and I could just never die. Like, you just never die. And I'll show you that. I'll go ahead and link that at the end of the video, and you just click on that. So the reason we're going to do that is because it gives you a little bit more survivability, and you can, everything's going to basically synergize off of your stacks, where this is it just as a hard fact. So as you can see right here, it's just a hard, 40%, 25%. So it's not really increasing, it's not really synergizing with what we're trying to do. So yeah, that's why I didn't choose that. So the next thing is Smite, which is 101. This is the most OP freaking, I think, ability on Athena. Now, all you have to do is jump and shoot, and it does so much damage. Like, I can't even explain to you how much damage this does. It can literally almost one-shot things. Now, boss is not going to one-shot, but it's going to take a lot of health out, and this is very important. Plus, it also gives you more stacks. So, yeah. So next thing you're going to do is the Superconductor, 4 out of 5. And the reason we're going to only do 4 out of 5 is because we prioritize the next build a little bit more. So yeah, you're going to do that 4 out of 5. And let's see, maybe I didn't do that. Yeah, you're going to do that 4 out of 5, and that just gives you bonus stacks and shock chance. Every time you throw the Apis. So after you do that, you're going to do Zeus's range. Whenever you throw a Apis, a devastating lightning, fire and lightning storm will spawn at the target's location doing area damage AoE, right? Well, anytime you do fire and lightning, well, we said up here, every time there's fire or shock, you get a Maelstrom stacks, which is also going to increase your shields. So yeah. So you're going to do that 4 out of 5. You're going to get that. You can get this any order you want, really. I don't really think it matters too much. I'd probably get Zeus's rage first. But yeah. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to come down here and you're going to get this 5 out of 5. So Overload is going to be 5 out of 5. So whenever you kill an enemy who is electrocuted or burned, there's a chance for the stat effect to chain to another enemy. So you get extra stacks if it does it. You get 20 extra stacks if it does it. And the chance is 45%. And we value that more than the extra maybe stack or two and then a little bit more shock chance. And like I said, you get 20 stacks immediately if it does this. And it's a 50% chance, and trust me, it does it a lot. And you're just constantly going to be getting shields back, and stronger. More elemental damage means more power. This thing's a monster. And then finally, what you're going to do is Hades Shackle. And what this is once jumping in the air and you slam downwards, it's going to put chains on nearby enemies. And then when it holds them, like, how do I describe it? It chains it for a second and then locks. And when it locks, it does, as you see, 20 stacks per target. And you can, I don't know exactly how many you do, but I jumped into a bunch of enemies one time and I just got so many stacks, and I was just, oh god, it was so good. And you release a Fire Nova, which also gain bonus Maelstrom stacks. So it's just, overall, that's just a solid tree. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the left build. Now, what you can do, and I will tell you this, you can invest in some of the freeze or the elemental barrage. These are nice, but the problem is I'm going to be showing you build guides, not skill point guides, but like actual build. And we're not really going to be using too much freeze weapons on Athena. So, that's why I'm not really too concerned about it. If you really have a freeze weapon that you like, a Cairo weapon that you really like, then, maybe you can invest in some of these, but I don't really find them that useful. So, we're going to go over here, and the first thing we're going to do is Ephidos. And why are we going to do this? Well, if you go back and read Kinetic Apis, what it says is the Apis. No, let me find it. Okay, well, basically, when holding the Apis, you do increased gun damage. So, I know it's somewhere, but when holding the Apis, whenever you have it up and not thrown, you do increased gun damage. So we are going to, really synergize that. We're going to be shooting a lot of guns because of this. So we're going to increase that. This just gives you Apis damage. We're not too worried about throwing the Apis and doing a little bit of damage with it. We're worried about holding on to the Apis as long as we can, doing as much gun and elemental damage, and then throwing it, and then ricocheting everywhere. So that is what we're going to be focusing on. Next is going to be Hold the Line, which lengthens the duration. We're not really worried about this at the moment, but like I said, the longer we can hold this, the more damage we can do. We're going to do that. Next, you're going to do the Prismatic Aegis, and now it stores elemental damage. Finally, we're at the point where we're like OP. Like this, at this point, now obviously when we get down here, we're going to be even more OP, but at this point, sorry, I'm still a little sick. At this point, we are really strong because it stores elemental damage now, and we can dish back the elemental damage and increase our Maelstrom stacks. So that is why that is so important. After doing that, we're going to come down here and do Clear 1 of 1. And the reason why we're going to do Clear is when throwing the Apis, you can revive your, friends or whatever. So if they go down, if you're playing with friends, this is amazing. If you're not playing with friends, it still helps you out. In addition, when you gain a damage bonus while in Fight for Your Life. And Fight for Your Life is when you go down, if for those of you that don't know that. So that you get, so you're going to be constantly, if you go down, you're going to get up like pretty much immediately. So that is amazing. And that's a really good skill. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to United Front over here. And you do that 5 out of 5. And the reason why we're going to do this 5 out of 5 is because we want to convert the 25% of absorb damage into shield power, as well as increase our shield capacity. So this over here, the conduct, will actually have a reason to, because if we're not running a shield that's like at least a decent size and stuff, then there's really no point to getting all these shield regen and stuff like that. You might as well go damage. So that's why we're going to get that 5 out of 5. And next what we're going to do is Prepare for Glory 4 out of 5. And Prepare for Glory is just saying activating the Apis what this is going to do is it's going to taunt nearby enemies. They're going to attack you, and you're going to absorb all the elemental damage, all the gun damage. You're going to do more gun damage while you're doing that. So for each stack you get, you increase more gun damage, and then you eventually throw it. And since you're taunting everybody, and your Ace Fist is going to be powered up, once you throw it, it's just going to do a ton of damage. So we're going to finish off by doing 1 of 1 into Wrath of the Goddess. So as you can see over here, I set the level to 50, but for some reason it's still saying 13. So we're going to be looking at this number. So we have 3 more left. Now 50 is if you buy the first DLC, then they give you a level cap. I'm not really sure if it was free in this game or not. If it is, then you can just play around with it however you want to do it, but I'm pretty sure it's not. On Borderlands 2 it wasn't, and then eventually they let it become free. So for right now, we're going to make this to 50, and what I decided to do is go back up here to Vanguard and put 3 of 3, so we're going to be at level 50. What this is, why the Ace Fist is active, and we're going to be holding it for a long time, you get health regen, and your friends get health regen, so you're just never going to die. You know, you're going to be pretty much invincible, and you're going to be doing a lot of damage. So this is what I think is one of the best builds for Athena. I prefer this build over the other one. Though I'll go ahead and go into some pros and cons. One of the pros of this build is it does a lot of damage, and you have a lot of survivability. And as well as you can play it as more support. So you just kind of, you know, get some stacks up and then revive people. So you can play it more as a support. The pros of this build is I think the other build is a little bit more reckless. So if you like that kind of thing, I think it'll be a lot more fun. So it just depends your play style, but we're going to go ahead and jump into the next one. So the next one we're going to be going into is the melee build, the melee and shield damage build. So this is not about holding the shield. This is about quickly getting off the shield as fast as you can, pretty much. So, you know, you're obviously going to start in Kinetic Ace Fist, and then we're going to go down here to Clarity of Purpose. And what this is this increase your melee damage and maximum health. Now, this actually increases your melee damage more than this. But later on, when I show you the build, we're not going to be worried about our shield. We don't want a shield at all. We're going to be using Roy damage. And the longer we can have our shields down, the more damage we can do. So we want to actually increase our maximum health. We value the maximum health more than the gun, because we're not going to be using that gun that much. To survive a little bit longer without having a shield, as well as get some melee damage. So next you're going to do is Omega Senshu, and this is going to increase the damage to any enemy who has less than 50% of their maximum health. Now you can do this, which I recommend doing a little bit later on. It's nice, as you can see, movement speed and damage resistance on a kill skill, but the execute damage from this is too good to pass up. So I'd recommend getting that. Next, what you're going to do is come down here to Rend, and your melee attacks cause damage, your opponents to bleed, and damage increased higher health targets, blah, blah, blah. Eventually on, we're going to be doing more damage to bleeding targets. So, yeah. So next, what we're going to do is come down here to Epic Center, and we're going to do 101, slamming down. Instead of chaining them, it's going to put them closer so we can melee them a lot easier. So we're not having to run all the way across the map. Not across the map, but across the battle. And, you know, try to close the distance. They're all going to be right there. So after that, what you're going to do is you're going to come over here to Bloodlust 5 out of 5. And you gain health regeneration for whenever you make an enemy bleed. So you get 4% of maximum health per second per bleeding enemy, which is why also we increased maximum health here. So they kind of go along. After you do that, you've got red on you. You're going to actually do this 4 to 5, and whenever an enemy is killed by your melee attacks or dies while bleeding, they explode. Nearby enemies will take damage from them, hopefully reducing them under 50%, so we can just keep chaining. And then you're going to go down here to Blood Rush, Melee Override, melee to dash toward enemies, strike them with with your sword, increase melee damage. If this attack applies a bleed, that target in bleeding or kills a target. Then the cooldowns immediately reset, and you're just constantly going to be dashing around killing everybody. So that's really cool. So next thing what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to Invictus, and we're actually going to be doing our damage, not about the gun damage and movement speed, and holding it up, but actually the damage itself when we throw it. Because we're going to be throwing it to kind of get them weak. We're not really throwing them to do more damage. So get them weak so we can just execute them. So yeah, so next thing you're going to do after that is you're going to go ahead and Vanguard, and you're going to do that 5 out of 5. While the Aphis is active, you and your health gain health regen. And just like that, we're not going to be worried about shields, so health is very important to us. So after that, you're going to go to Prismatic Aegis, and because that's, I think, one of the best out of getting these. Gets elemental damage, so why not? Next thing after that you're going to do is you're going to come down here to clear, so you can still go to fight for your life bonus as well as revive people if you need to. And then we're actually going to go over here to Stalwart. So instead of doing the shields, sorry, we don't want shields. Like we said, we don't want shield capacity. We don't want any absorb damage to give us shields. We don't want shields at all. So we're not even going to touch that. We want the Apis to allow our friends to really, as you can see here, absorb the amount. So every time they shoot, we can absorb like all their damage and then throw it back out there. But really what we're focusing on is the maximum health, but the absorb chance is very nice if you're playing with people. So after you're going to do that, you're going to go to Return Fire, actually. And you're going to do that 4 out of 5. And the reason you're going to do 4 out of 5 is we value the maximum health and the absorb chance, or the amount, rather than the Reflect, which is the extra 10%. And while it's active, then it reflects lasers and bullets, and you can actually damage people as you're charging at them with it as the shield. So you basically use the shield to protect you, and then when you get in range, then you throw the shield and then start meleeing. And then after doing that, you're going to get Wrath of the Goddess, which we talked about. It ricochets up to 4 times. Every time it ricochets, it does a little bit less damage, but it hits up to 4 people, and this thing is really good. So the actual Aegis itself does a lot more damage, or a lot more synergizes with the elemental tree, but it's still nice to have. And then finally what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and as you saw, we could only do 3 more skills left. So once you complete these 2, you get 47, and we're going to actually finally go in here and increase our movement speed and damage resistance. So yeah, I think that's really good. That is the tree. So the pros and cons for this tree: the pros is it's highly chainable. So like once you kill somebody and then you damage you're just constantly gonna be killing people, dashing constantly. Once you kill them, you just immediately dash to someone else, and it's very strong. The the cons of this is I don't think overall the damage is as high. You're not gonna be doing a lot of DPS, so boss fights this isn't very useful. This is very nice to, do like the Hollow Dome or something like that, but overall, it's not the best build. They nerfed a lot of the Roid shields, so at one point this was the best build, but at the moment it's no longer the go-to build. So when I play Athena, I'll just give you my heads up. When I play Athena, I did the very first one, which is the Athena, and I'm telling you that thing is overpowered. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any variations to this at all, please let me know in the comments below. And in the description below as well, I will be, putting some more facts and stuff like that. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, peace! Hey guys, thanks for watching. So previous video is Borderlands the pre-sequel Cold Revolt guide, and it is the last and final video for that guide on Elster. So make sure you check that one out, as well as all the other ones if you're interested in completing the Cult of the Vault. And featured video is that 999 stack Athena I was telling you about. How once you hit the Maelstrom stack, how you're just basically just unstoppable, and yeah, so make sure you check those out. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see more videos just like this one, please leave a thumbs up. Also, best way to contact me is on Twitter at myheroescape20. And if you want to see me play this game live, go to twitch.tv/myheroescape20. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, peace!